Alright, we're back with another video, and this video today is about building approvals. So when we're looking at building approvals, there's a few websites that we look at, and there's ID profiles, and this will be a link to this video of where you get this information from, which is a great website. Got a lot of information, and this can help you to make a good decision. It's even got things which I'll do more videos about, the economic profiles, and you've got your population forecast, etc. Now, but building approvals is one of the key fundamentals when it comes to macroeconomics of a particular market. Now, what we want to look out for, we want to try and get to 12 to 18 months worth of data. When we get this data, what we want to do is we want to look at a particular dwelling that we're wanting to invest in. So if it's a house, it's a house. If it's an apartment, apartment. If it's a townhouse, townhouse. Now, the closer you get to what dwelling you want to invest in, and you can get those building approvals to the accurate T, it gives you a great decision of what's happening in a particular market. And I'll explain how this number here can make sense, because you might see 529 building approvals doesn't make sense to you, and you're like, okay, what's that mean? So what we want to minimize is an oversupply of properties coming to the market. Now, we don't want to invest somewhere where there's going to be releases of 20 houses getting released per month, because that can have an effect on the market. Now, the least amount of houses getting released per month, the more demand in that area. If there's very high demand, and there's going to be even more significant demand, and prices are going to get pushed up. So the more properties getting put to the market, new builds, there's going to have an effect. Now, what we want to do, we want to get 12 to 18 months of data. Once we get that data, we want to get that existing data. So we got this number here, 529, and we're going to times it by 100. Once we times it by 100, we're going to divide it, and then we're going to divide it by the amount of existing houses in this particular market. Now, let's say Albury has got 1,000 dwellings, of houses, sorry, I should say. We're going to get that, and we're going to divide it by that. So it's going to look like 529 times 100, divide 1,000, because there's 1,000 houses already existing in this market, and it's going to give you a number, a formula. Now, whatever that number, if it's 1, 2, 5, 6, 20, now that number means that's how many properties are getting released per a month. Now, the lower the number, the better, of course. And this shows you a sign of there's not an oversupply. Now, another great website that can give you more information as well, besides ID profiles, is building approvals through ABS data. Now, let me just have a little sip on the tea there. Now, when we're getting this data, you come to this page. There'll be a link as well to this video, and you've got building approvals. Now, you've got LGAs, which is your local government areas. Now, we want to go to 2020, and we want to get, when we click on that, it takes us to this page. Now, what you want to look at is what type of dwellings we're looking at. Like I said, you have to be specific with what dwellings. Now, this shows you all types of dwellings, what's happening. So you can even see if there's infrastructure projects on warehousing, agricultural, industrial buildings, etc. Education, transport buildings. But we want to go for houses. Now, it's a good thing to actually look at, these commercial types of builds, because when things like this start to happen, there's a demand for jobs. So that's a little sneak tip there. There's a little golden nugget. So keep that in mind. And you want to track everything. All this that you're tracking, you want to track this all on your spreadsheets. Don't just get this done and go, yep, that looks good. Put it all in spreadsheets, file it, put it under each Excel spreadsheet, put building approvals, click the next link, and that one might be vacancy rates, and put it all for the same location. Now, what's going on here? We've got houses measured by dwelling units. Yes, we want to keep that at that. Total sector, yes, we'll go on both, not private or public. What houses, local government area, monthly. So this is the monthly, up to date. Now, we're looking at Albury. Now, like we said, we want to get all these listings here up to 12 months. So this is not 12 months here. So you can see there's, what is there? There's a bit less than 12 months. But what we do, we get the number of listings here. And then what we do, we go here back to 2019, and you do the same thing and try and get up to 18 months. Okay, and that will give you an understanding of exactly how many listings are getting brought to the market of houses to Albury. Now, there's other data hubs, I should say, like Cordell, but it's very, very, very pricey of using their program, which can cost you up to $1,000 a month. Now, depending on how sophisticated you want to go with their building approvals, which gives you live data. Now, it's up to you. I don't suggest it for everyone because it's quite costly and it's a locked-in contract. It's not a contract you can just buy for 1 month and see what's going on. It's an actual locked-in contract. So that's something that we look at, and it's something that I don't recommend. I guess it's something if you want to purchase, that's something that you want to go down that path. But that's something I just want to give you guys an example on. So yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, how you want to go about your building approvals and understanding using that formula, seeing there's no oversupply of building approvals, because it will affect the market. If you've got 20 listings of building approvals coming to the market, 20 properties coming to a market per month, it's a lot of properties. You might think it's not a lot, but it will have an effect on the capital growth. It can have an effect on your rental market as well. So the smaller that number, the more demand for properties, prices going up, rental prices going up as well. So hopefully you got something from this. This is something, like I said, you want to track all this. You don't want to just look at it. You want to track it. So keep that in mind. Everything in Excel is your best friend. That's what we use, and it's just makes your life simple. Keep it all under different categories. If you got your different locations that you're looking at, that's the best thing to do, and it gives you an understanding what's going on.